Call the order of the Saugatuck Planning Commission meeting for January 15th, 2026. Can you call the roll for us?
Sure. Baldwin.
Here.
Patrick.
Here.
Gardner.
Here.
Gaunt. Here. Lachey.
Here.
Marino. And Mans is not. He's present online.
Present online and
I see it.
excused. We have the agenda in front of us. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved. A second.
It's moved and seconded. Can we get a voice vote to approve it? So those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against, no? No. Approved. We'll move on to the next item. We have, the packet included the minutes of the December 18th regular meeting. Anybody have any questions or concerns?
I move to approve the minutes.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Say yes if you agree.
Yes.
Yes.
No if against. Unanimous. They're approved. We move to the fourth item on the agenda, public comments on agenda items only. Come up and give us your name and address. You have 3 minutes for any of the topics that are on the agenda. The items that have applicants here will have opportunity for that business. Seeing none online. Closing public comments. Getting right. Oh, Steve raised his hand. I'm sorry.
No issue. I was just going to say to everyone that obviously I always hate missing any of the meetings, but this is my birthday week and we travel down in Mexico each year during this time period. So many of you are familiar, but I have looked through the packet. It seemed pretty straightforward, as far as the things that have been suggested and recommendations. So hopefully you have a very good meeting and we'll see how things go here later on in it, but appreciate it. And you guys all take care and stay warm.
Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Steve.
See no others. Moving on to new business. 297 Sugar Hill is a public hearing. So I'll call to order the public hearing for 297 Sugar Hill. We have a summary from Grayson.
So our applicant is requesting special land use to permit the existing attached ADU to be used as a short-term rental. The property is located in the Peninsula West District, which has reached its cap for short-term rentals. However, the ADUs do not count towards that short-term rental cap.
And we have the applicant come up and walk through their presentation.
Sure. Haven't done this before, so hope I cover everything, and I understand you all have reviewed the full application anyhow, so I won't go through all the nitty gritty. Long story short, like Grace mentioned, we're applying for a special land use permit. So that our already approved ADU, we can rent that out independently from the primary residence. And this is my wife, Marcy, and this is our full-time primary residence. We moved in mid-June. Construction of the residence in the ADU was approved in March of 24. ADU is approximately 560-ish square feet. We do have dedicated parking. In our use cases, we're expecting our first child in March, so really the ADU right now is used mostly for family. But in the high season, we could certainly appreciate renting that out when the family's not there, so we can make a little extra income. And we, for what it's worth, we plan on not taking reservations of more than 2 people. So we have parking for 1 to 2 vehicles. And after speaking with Grayson, as far as I understand, the construction and its use complies with all the requirements of a special land use permit for ADU. So that is it.
Can you pull up the map, the packet for the map, so when we get to have any questions, we can see that a little bit. The item D, public comments regarding the application. Seeing any public comments regarding this item from the public here? Anybody online wanting to make public comments? I didn't see anybody. Oh, See, now I'm asking you.
You want Sarah to flip the screen? Or?
Yeah, I need to flip the screen again, see if we have any public comments from the online group, sorry. So I saw a Zoom user pop on. Any public comments for 297 Sugar Hill Court from online? No. Okay, so we did receive some, two letters that they asked to read at the meeting, asked to read. So I felt like I could at least summarize them. One of them is very short. John and Margaret Richardson, Saugatuck residents, they're opposed. They just gave written notification that they're opposed to this. There's no apparent demonstrable hardship necessary of granting said variance. I don't know that we're asking for a variance. And then the second one is from Judy and Peter Kosick. They have a significant letter. Their concerns are they have significant number of STRs already in their area, and they're concerned. They're concerned about enforcement, concerned about fire pit concerns, potential for noise. I will state that with all the STR items that went through a year ago, a little better than a year ago, we have a good neighbor policies where all those things are intended to be posted and shared. There's a website. So, and the same with enforcement. I think we've done, the city as a whole has improved the enforcement. The fire concern is always a concern. They have a concern about a fire pit, but that's whether it's renters or owners. So that's, if somebody wants to read it in full, they can, but that was summarization of their items.
I read it and acknowledge it. I think it, is applicable in some situations and I get what they're saying, but here, I don't think with the newborn, you want noisy people next door either coming through and I'm a big supporter of especially people who are full-time, owners and live here and being able to utilize the space on their property to get some extra income and have the in-laws there too. I get that one as well, so.
And I don't know if I think was to say something. Again, it's owner occupied, so we're not gonna tolerate parties or anything like that. And we're also gonna limit the reservation to 2 people. So there's no group situation and we will not allow fire pits for guests.
Thank you.
Perfect. No further comments online. So we can open it up for deliberation amongst our commissioners.
Sorry to step in.
We're right there.
Great, thank you. Good evening, welcome. I think we've met.
Yeah, we did meet once at the marathon.
Yes, yeah, good to see you again. So just say, make sure I understand. So Sugar Hill Court.
Yep.
That's when you go up Vine Street, it's there's Frederick and then
Right before, it's the new ones that they just
Yeah.
built.
the new two,
Right
okay,
at First Street, and you're right.
okay, great.
Bjorn and Carla.
Yeah,
Across the
right,
street from them.
okay, perfect. Because it doesn't even pop up on Google. If you look up the address, it won't even
No.
pull it up for you.
Google Maps is really frustrating because it takes all our deliveries to Rome.
So sorry to discover your issue, but I just want to make sure I understand exactly where we're oriented on this. Sarah, could you bring the image back up, please?
Yes.
So 2 questions. Which of these is Sugar Court?
Well,
Where is it here? Sugar Court down this way?
the street, yeah, the street.
Okay, great.
Hold on, Russ.
Oh, that answers my other question too about the parking. So,
Yeah.
okay. So street cars will be off of the
Yeah.
actual street
And the
itself.
no street parking and another thing, we will only allow 1 vehicle per reservation as well. Considering we're only getting up to 2 people at a time, I don't see that being a problem.
Those are my questions.
Is
Thank
there
you.
a cul-de-sac at the end? Is that it? Or is there a circle?
There's a fire engine turnaround.
Okay.
Thing.
Yeah.
But it's not like a cul-de-sac.
Okay.
thing.
Seems straightforward to me. I mean, I think as a matter of policy, we've decided the ADUs is really a preferred short-term rental. And this isn't really a variance. We're not asking for a waiver of the cap. So we've had objections before that I think were based on a misunderstanding that's why it came in front of us. And I think back to some discussions we've had before, maybe we shouldn't even have these be a special land use review because it seems like it's a bigger deal than it is, but here we are. So no, I'm supportive of this.
Jay, any commentary you want to add?
Same for that. I don't know. Do we want to we need to close public comment and then.
But I want to see if Mark wants to comment first before we move on.
Well, as Craig alluded to, and I actually know where Sugar Hill Court is, I am Rivenet. I know where the firefighter turnaround is, for example. I think it's a nice little street. Although when you go down Perryman, you can see it, it's like, oh gosh, that's progress. Anyway, I think residents don't understand that, as Craig said, a matter of policy, but actually a matter of ordinance. ADUs are permitted, as short-term rentals. And policy was that versus non-owner occupied dwellings, when you have an owner occupied dwelling, as you guys will be year round, the objections that the vast majority of people, I believe, in this community had regarding short-term rentals are negated by having someone right there watching the property, monitoring property. And so I unfortunately, I think a lot of residents still don't quite understand that we, the planning commission, have to follow our ordinance, and as such, although there is the formality, as AJ said, of the hoops we have to jump through, we have to also follow the ordinance, and of course, I'll be supporting the granting of the special license for this ADU.
Good, Bobby.
What Mark said.
I'm in support of this as well. So that's a little commentary from there. We'll take a motion on this item. Oh,
Close the public.
closing the public hearing. Now taking the motion.
I move to approve the special land use request to allow the rental of the attached ADU at 297 Sugar Hill Court based on the compliance with the ADU rental requirements of section 154.092J, satisfaction of site plan approval standards of section 151.060, and the positive findings related to the special land use standards of approval in section 154.080 that are documented in the staff memo dated December 12th, 2025.
Second. Either way.
Pass and supports. Can we get a roll call?
Patrick. Baldwin.
Yes.
Gardner.
Yes.
Gaunt.
Yes.
Lachey.
Yes.
Marino.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome. Yeah.
Chair Badrak, could I, just a comment on the, one of the two letters, and particularly item number 2 from the COSIX. That is something that hadn't really, I've walked on the street, I've been in this area, I've been on Perryman, I've been all in that area numerous times, and hadn't really thought about an open fire in that space, especially as dry as it's been. I'd be curious to know if that's something that the city should maybe get involved with and say there should be some type of moratorium or maybe temporary burn permit for those, or temporary burn situation for those areas. Because if that would go to light,
Yeah. there's
that'd be an
definitely-
issue.
No, these particular ones said they don't have a fire pit there, but there is definitely a concern, and with the fire inspections that they're required. I don't know, because I don't personally have one, so I didn't have that issue. But there are definitely fire pits in town. I know.
Yeah, I've got one in my front yard.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know there have to be a certain amount of distance away from the residents, et cetera. This is more of an issue of, just like the state will give, you see the Smokey Bear where it tells you whether it's a moderate, low, high risk. I don't know where we are currently, but just more for Grayson this is probably something we need to chat about, to see if there's times when we need to say no open flames in certain areas at certain times because of these issues.
And I think
Not an outright prohibition of it, but
I think then the letter's concerns are correct. Some
Yeah.
the renters aren't necessarily fully aware that they're coming out of a city and they're out in the woods now. If they've got a dry tree above them, it's a little different. So it's possibly a concern that should be addressed by.
yeah, thank
It's a
you.
good thing to take back to council.
I'll bring it up in my report on Monday night to council.
Do you mind if I just make one note?
Sure.
And just so the applicants are aware, a license for the short-term rental would still be required. That would just be applied for separately.
Thank you for being
You
here.
don't need to meet with us for that.
Yes.
New item 5B, 202 Butler Commercial Edition. Not a public hearing. Can you give us,
Yeah.
lineup?
So This applicant's proposing a 500 square foot rear building addition at 202 Butler, where Pumpernickel's is. And they're looking to add some additional storage space that also includes some basement space beneath the portion of the footprint to be expanded. The entire addition is located in the rear of the building, and overall, staff didn't note any deficiencies with that. They would just need to finalize their easement agreement with the neighboring property.
Applicants here, we'll give them an opportunity to present.
Good night.
Good evening, I'm Ron Schaefer, the owner of the 203 Street Butler property.
Welcome.
Thank you, glad to be here. Actually, it's the one concern that we have for the easement use, we just received a letter from their attorney this afternoon. So there is a monetary figure to resolve the issue, which will transact probably within the next day or two. So other than that, you know, just with the confinement of space, you can't find anything to add on. We looked at the feasibility of digging out the Michigan cellar underneath, and you know, that's very be ideal, but quite prohibitive. So although we have somebody that's actually looking at the possibility, but I think we're going to turn that one down and go with this proposal that we have. We've got a little extra space there that through the drive, which will allow us to put both a single level and a basement underneath it, which will be a great addition for us for usable space and storage. And so that's we're asking for approval of the process so we can continue. We're actually closed until February 12th. We were hoping to get an early start on it, but a little delay. And hopefully as soon as we get approval, we can apply for our permits now that we have the easement termination in progress. And hopefully we can have a nice warm February. So if you have any questions, fire away.
Might have missed it. How did the HGC meeting go? Was that?
Oh, approved.
Okay, so everything's good there
Yep.
and there were no concerns?
Nope. The only concern that I think you guys came up was the screening of the garbage
Yeah.
dumpster, which has been there since 2007. So there already is a gate there. And it hides a lot of sins.
Well, I will say this, I actually, when I saw this, I texted a couple of buddies who worked there the summers of 2010 and 2011, and they were very jealous that this was happening now.
Yeah,
So
I know.
they were back in the kitchen, so.
Well, we remodeled the whole kitchen. In fact, the building was built in 1840. In 15 feet from the entrance door to the center of the kitchen, it fell 5.5 inches.
Yeah.
But we did some extensive work in January to shore up the floor. Come to find out, when we have the 5 subfloors that came off, there was 5 floor joists that were rotted away from the sill plate. So the only thing holding up the kitchen was the 5 subfloors. Wow. The previous owner says, you know, why should I pay for the improvement? I says, well, pretty soon the kitchen would be in the basement, whether you liked it or not. So yeah, it was an undertaking and made it a whole lot nicer for the work staff there. So we actually even put in air conditioning for them.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't get your name.
It's
again.
Ron Schaefer.
Ron, yes. Glad that you're here. This property is known, when I was a kid, was King's Candy Store.
Yes, yep.
King's Candy Corner. I used to go in there and used to have the big barrels with candy in it, go and grab handfuls. And so anyway, that's kind of my memory of it. It's been a grocery store, a number of things over the
Yep.
years. So really glad to see this coming forward. That space, especially behind the west side of the building where you're putting this new storage area, has always been kind of an eyesore.
Yes.
So I really appreciate the effort here. I'm in full support of this, and it sounds like you're going to be making an effort to,
Yeah.
because there have been times where there's been like discarded refrigerators back there from the restaurant and don't,
Yeah.
so it sounds like you're on the right track on this. and I
There's
just really
a
appreciate it.
ratty old fence there right now,
Yeah.
which will be replaced by the side of the building. And yeah, it'll look much nicer and stuff. So
I have memories being able to run on the north side around to the west side when that was all open. That was
Yes.
all open at one time, so.
yeah, and the 7-foot easement on the north side will remain because that's the only entrance to the adjacent building for the upstairs tenants.
Yeah.
So
Great. Well, thank you for the work on this.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Do you anticipate, I'm sorry.
No.
Do you anticipate with the increase in kitchen capacity, increasing your service capacity?
We hoped so. Right now, we have more seating than our kitchen can handle.
Ah, okay.
So we're just trying to get it up. That was one of the reasons for the first renovation, was to try and get more throughput from the kitchen so we could service what we already had group seating for. And, we cut off with the outside seating, which is very valuable for us. People want to sit outside first and then to the patio. And once they get past those two seating areas, we probably can't handle the throughput on the kitchen. So that's one of the reasons for the new addition, is to have more prep space so we can clear more out of the current kitchen. Because if you're more than probably 180 pounds, it's tough to squeeze through the fryers and the service tables and stuff. So we need to get all the stuff out of there. So, and right now, the actually access to the basement is actually a hatch door in the floor underneath one of the service tables. So if we have anything that we got to go down to the basement to trip a break or something, we got to move all the tables and pull the hatch door up and stuff. So, but yeah, we're hoping it will increase our capability, but will not exceed our seating approvals.
That you read my mind. I was wondering if we were gonna see you in 6 months or a year and saying, we want to expand this way.
Now, the outside seating gives us 56 seats. We're approved inside for 82 on the inside, and I think it's 80 on the two patios outside. So our total seating capacity is about 220. We can't service 220 at once.
Wow.
220, wow.
Yeah.
Plus.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Not for me. I like your restaurant.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We've got a new chef,
I
and it's,
had friends for dinner there during December.
oh,
And one of the friends was in town today and she said, let's go to Pumpernickel's. It was wonderful. And I said, sorry, they're closed.
yes, yeah. The staff needs a break.
They do. And the staff was wonderful. The food was wonderful. So
Thank you. Yeah, my youngest daughter, Allison, is managing the facility and stuff, so she's done a
We
great
had-
job.
we had quite the conversation.
Oh,
She's-
good.
She's
Yeah.
delightful.
Yeah, she's worked I didn't realize it's 7 years in the food industry here in Saugatuck. I didn't think it was that long, but yeah, time flies.
Appreciate your pro style presentation. It was very straightforward, very simple. The color coding.
Yeah.
Old people like me figured it out nicely.
Yeah, no questions for me, but I'm always grateful for people willing to make the investment to improve
Yeah.
the great properties that we have. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Our next one is, the building is almost 200 years old and the siding is starting to get to the point. So our next endeavor will be to redo the siding, hopefully improve the insulation in it. But that'll be the next issue we have to address, which, is probably within the next year or two. So we need to preserve the skeleton of the building. That's correct.
So shall I make the motion?
I'll accept the motion.
Okay. I move to approve the site plan amendment requested by, is it Ryzen?
Yes, Ryzen BS.
BS LLC for a 500 square foot kitchen area expansion and associated improvements at 202 Butler Street in accordance with the application materials submitted by the applicant with the following conditions. Administrative approval of trash receptacle screening, administrative approval of new light fixtures if applicable, approval of the use of the access easement and a formal amendment of the easement, approval by all applicable city departments and the city engineer, and approval by the fire department.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Roll call?
Patrick,
Yes.
Baldwin.
Yes.
Gardner,
Yes.
Gaunt,
Yes.
Lachey,
Yes.
and Marina.
Yes.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
See you all in the spring when we open up again.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Oh, what's your timeline? I'm just curious. What's your timeline for the build out?
Well, actually, we were trying to start January 5th, but obviously we got delayed. We'll probably be starting before February 1st.
And the end date, you think?
I would guess maybe mid-April, 1st of May, but the one nice thing is with the additional way we have it, we can still operate inside with, as long as we have the footings and stuff in the ground, we'll be able to continue operation. So we were planning on opening February 12th. We may push that back just a little bit, just for allow them to get the the footings and stuff in and stabilize the addition that we already had on the building and stuff, so.
Just curious. Thank you. Yeah, cool. Thanks.
Thanks.
New business item 5C is the sign ordinance coming near the end for us. So it's a public hearing, so I will call the public hearing to order. And Grayson, if you can give us a summary, or if you want Trent to do that.
I'll just jump in here. I don't think all of you are familiar with this at this point now. So I implemented the changes from the last meeting. I actually watched the video back and was pleasantly surprised that the changes we had were very limited. So we corrected the and that's why you don't see a red line version in your packet, because it was really just the changes to the definition of portable sign as we had discussed. And so as long as that fits what the planning commission has in mind, and we've sort of fixed the errors with that definition, the rest of the draft remains substantially the same as what was discussed last time and what has been sort of discussed throughout. So I'm happy to take any questions, but I would just highlight it's in your packet. It's the bottom of page 40, top of page 41 is the definition of portable signs that we tweaked a little bit from last time. And then, as I mentioned, everything else remains substantially the same as what we had in the last draft. So I took a less is more approach this time, and then I hope that it meets what you're looking for. But happy to answer any questions or open up discussion if you guys have any. And I suppose take public comment as well.
Yeah. So let me take public comments. There's no one in the room.
Can you open the hearing? Sorry.
Oh, I did open the hearing.
Oh, I'm sorry. Missed that. Who's reading?
As much as I want to gavel. No one in the room. There is one user I don't recognize online. If you want to make public comments, Zoom user. Seeing no hands, no public comments. They've heard the sign information. So that gets us down to, so now I can close the public hearing and open it to commissioner deliberation.
No comments from me. I'm in support.
We've spent a good amount of time on it.
Yes.
The only comment I had, and I'll give mine to you, Russ, and you can give us back. We spent a lot of time on it, but at the same time, it was a pretty significant change. As you take it to city council, unintended consequences, we did our best, but please take the opportunity to look at it. We appreciate what city council.
I will. Thank you. And that was going to be my question, Trent. Well, two questions. One, Grayson, do we know when this is going to come to council? Will this?
Likely be on your first February meeting.
Okay, thank you. Two is Trent. I know that there's been a lot of red line versions bouncing back and forth. Is it possible for us to get, just for my benefit and for the planning commission's benefit, just maybe a summary of the changes so I can present that appropriately to the council, whether it can be in the minutes perhaps, or I just want to make sure I represent what's been changed, because I arrived kind of midstream on this. So I want to be sure that I represent this, and I support it. I just want to make sure, because council will probably ask me that question.
I'm sure they'll get you a good setup, but the one with the red lines was pretty good. That was a good, shows what we.
Yeah, so the one thing with the red lines is that we and this was early on in this process, the red lines were extensive and very, very difficult to understand. And so I was providing memos to the planning commission that I think did a good job at explaining the changes when there was a lot more changes. And I agree with the comment that I think that's a great way to present it to council. So I will provide more of a global memo that explains all of the changes from what's currently in place to what we have in this current draft. I'll try to also provide a red line, but because of the nature of the changes, a lot of the red lines are almost impossible to understand. So I can play around with that and see if I can get one that makes kind of sense. But when we first did this, it may have been before even Grayson was at the city, but regardless, I tried to provide some red lines and they were very difficult to read. So, but we can absolutely provide a memo that makes it easier to explain to council. And I do, either myself or Jake will be at the meeting as well to explain it.
Great.
Take any questions.
Thank you.
I will say, I'm sorry if I may, for city council's benefit, we as 7 people who reside in this community went through, I believe, every single provision every type of sign, every type of whatever advertisement, and we looked at it as, I believe, we looked at it as what's best for the community. And whether it be how tall a flagpole is, or how many signs you can have in somebody's yard, or what kind of business can have which kind of sign and where it can be located. And it was a very deliberate, somewhat exhaustive, and I mean that in terms of not tiring, but simply extensive, maybe a better word than exhaustive. And so, city council can do, of course, whatever they feel best to do. But I do want the city council to recognize that we took this very deliberately and spent a lot of time on it and talked about many, many issues a lot. And so, you know, this was not done hurriedly or lightly or flippantly in any regard.
Thank you.
One thing, I had my piece of advice of going through it and what I had to go back and forth, the definitions of what's on site, off premises, all those things. Getting that definition understood is very helpful to understand where we ended up. So that might be a good primer for the city council.
Thank you.
Anything else? It was a fast meeting today. It was a fast, well, it's gonna be a fast meeting. I think so. So that's, I'll take a motion to approve this and send it on to city council.
So moved.
Second?
Roll call.
Patrick,
Yes.
Baldwin.
Yes.
Gardner,
Yes.
Gahn,
Yes.
Lache,
Yes.
and Mance. I mean, Marino, sorry.
Yeah, we're both out, you guys. Yes.
Thank you to the commission for all its work.
Yeah.
I'll do my best to represent
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you.
Last item is the election of officers. Steve is out of town during this time, last time, I believe, so it's convenient. I think we've had a fabulous year. I think his leadership has been very good. I take this opportunity to nominate him for the chair again to continue on leading this team.
I'll second that. I think he's done a great job too. I think he likes being the chair, which I'm not sure I would. And I think he's really good at it. So thank you, Steve, for all the time you've put into that.
Thank you, Steve.
Thanks to all of you. It's a pleasure to work with. I look forward, if it goes through, continuing.
Our thanks to Dennis too, Steve.
I know they're all out there going, how long is this meeting going to be? It's going to be short tonight.
Are you doing these all separately or together?
I was going to do each one separately.
Okay,
I would
that's
think we
fine.
should.
I just
We
wanted to
should.
know how you're,
Yeah, so I think we can vote on that one.
okay, that's fine. Do you want to do roll call or do you want a voice vote?
Do a voice vote.
Okay.
So those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Yes. Aye. Those against say no. Hearing none, sounds like it passes. Moving on to the vice chair position.
I'll make a motion to nominate CJ Badrak as our vice chair. Somebody's willing to accept it.
I'm willing to accept it. It's been, it's one meeting a year that I get to do, and I get, so it's pretty good.
I could make it more.
And you do it well.
Yeah.
Move it to.
Look, take it to a vote. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against say no. Passes. And a new position. This is, we'll have the secretary position.
You don't have to do anything.
It's just to be in compliance.
Does it need to be a separate person? Does it
Yeah.
make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
So as I understand it, the primary benefit is you get to sit in Mark's chair. I think Mark looks good in that chair.
That's
So,
correct.
so
I had a question. You are technically our secretary, correct?
I mean,
No.
I think the bylaws say there's secretary small s, and then there's like secretary officer s. You are the city appointed secretary to do this, as I understand. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Sorry, we had the same conversation at the Strike District Commission. The commission does have to elect a secretary per the ordinance.
Per the
as well
bylaws,
as-
yeah. We're just not sure what the tasks are, some of those things.
Right,
That's,
yeah.
the HDC secretary.
Yeah, we had the exact
That's no
same
duty.
conversation at Historic District and arrived at the same spot. We had to have one nominated by the commission and voted on.
Well, since I was.
Be compliant. Yeah, there we go.
I don't want to move chairs either. So that's fine.
We have a motion and a second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against say no. Hearing none. What do we have? Mark is in.
Usually it's whoever's not here, but.
Secretary of the Chair.
Old
He's
business.
first secretary of the planning.
There you go.
commission in the history of the city
Inaugural.
of Sagatuck.
Inaugural.
Wow.
No old business, no communications. Report, Grayson, you want to report on anything of significant interest you want to share through the month of December, January?
Yeah, I was just gonna let you know that next month in February, I'll bring a report of all of the things you guys went through in 2025 for your review.
Oh, good summary?
Okay. Yep.
Okay, I don't have anything else. I do have a comment to make and, it's a good time to do it. I think we should talk about our goals for the year and what we want to do. So when Steve gets back and we have our February meeting, we should talk about, okay, what kind of things are we going to try to move forward? Opening up for public comments, the last public comments. There's no one in the room. Then we'll give Steve an opportunity. He's raised his hand.
Hey, I just want to say it was a great meeting, you guys. I thought it was straightforward. I look forward to getting back and continuing to work with you as we move forward with the master plan and kind of discussing more of that also in the February meeting. I forgot in the opening to say I hope everybody had a really nice holiday and we're kicking off 2026 together. And it's just, let's make it another good year. We've had several really strong years as we're addressing a lot of the questions, being proactive, and I look forward to continuing that in 2026. But thanks again for the confidence tonight, and we look forward to seeing you all soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
No one else raising their hands. Close public comments. Commissioner comments. We'll finish with Russ. So we'll start with you today.
Happy New Year, everyone. Question for Grayson. Did I mention this, or has council started to review sort of the status of short-term rentals?
They are considering making some amendments to the short-term rental ordinance. Maybe Russ would like to expand on that conversation.
Yeah.
Before you do, the reason for my question is, at one time, we talked about sort of getting up to date in terms of how the short-term rental policies are working. And so that's really why I was asking the question.
Yeah, so I did provide an end of the year
Okay.
report to council that would be available if you wanted to take a look at that. And it was discussed at their meeting, and some changes, small changes, seemed like they were taken up by council.
Okay, Russ.
Yeah, thank you, Bobby. Yeah, this was in response to, again, just to emphasize that there's no discussion regarding change the ordinance itself in terms of caps or anything of that nature. But after a year of experience in the report that Grayson provided, there's some opportunities, I think, to make this a better business for the city, a better process for the city and for the people that have stakes in short-term rentals. And one of them is that what we heard is that the constant changing or the way that the current regulation is set up is that when people, and it doesn't matter if you're ADU owner like I am with a short-term rental certificate, or if you're just a short-term rental owner, period, or if you're a business that manages them, the day to renew your certificate is 30 days prior to your date. And I'm not sure exactly how I understand this works, but what was happening, or what's been happening, is that people would be putting their applications in, and then it would make their next term shorter. So it was kind of a moving date. So that was creating some confusion, I think, for property owners, as well as some of the management companies. And so they came to a meeting and they had a proposal on how to maybe amend the ordinance to address this issue. And that's what the council's dealing with currently. So it's in response, again, it's like, we've had a year of experience with this, and we're starting to get some feedback on what's working well, which is what Grayson provided. And then from some of the folks that work with them, some areas that we could improve on. So it's just a natural progression in the process.
Just wondered.
Yeah.
The thing I'm unclear on is what being looked at, and there were some proposals made as citizens' suggestions to the city council. Would that require an amendment to the actual ordinance, or what? I'm unclear what you just said, whether it would be completely just something administrative changes the way things are done administratively. In other words, would it have to come to us first before it goes to city council as a amendment to the actual short-term rental ordinance?
Grayson, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think what he was speaking to as not a change in the ordinance was just the caps. So it would need to be, the ordinance needs to be amended. I'd have to confirm, but city council may be able to amend it without having it come to the planning commission, but I think they might have to because Trent's moving.
Well,
Yeah, so and sorry, I don't mean to cut anyone off.
Never mind.
Yeah, I was just gonna say my recollection of it was that there was a police power and a zoning ordinance
Yes, yeah, thanks, Trent. I
together,
just
and
mentioned
so
that.
and I haven't looked at it before this meeting, so I don't want to shoot from the hip, but I think the provisions you're talking about would be the licensing ordinance, which is the police power piece of it, which I believe could be done by council, but again, I haven't verified that. If it's the zoning part, it would come before planning commission, but I can see if I can pull it up quick and verify it while you guys are discussing, but.
Yeah, thanks, Trent. That was my understanding as well.
Yeah.
The other topic that has come up is there was, I think, 7 or 8 licenses that weren't allowed to be renewed because of some of the confusion around the renewal dates and timing. And so council has decided or has asked the attorney to come back with a proposal to allow us to have them renew their licenses. Just again, a situation where we think we could have done better from a communication standpoint, and that would seem to be a reasonable middle road for everybody to go, so. And that is yet to come back to council.
I'll get out of my lane for a minute. But I've watched and seen the things, but and as a STR owner and certificate holder, I see the confusion is going from the old policy, the old 3-year policy to the new year
Yes,
policy.
yes,
Because
that was-
there's
yes.
conversation about mulligans and different things.
Yes.
The issue is not so much a mulligan, it's that transition from the old policy to the new policy, giving some grace to that timeline. And that would be my 2 cents.
Yeah, thank you, CJ. And that's exactly what I think happened. And there's also, we had some changes in our zoning director. There's the new regulations. So it's just kind of a natural thing that sometimes things don't go quite as we planned. And this is an opportunity for us to make it right.
Once everybody gets on that every year, it's going to be less of an issue. So
Yeah, there's a fair amount of debate on whether we should just make it like have everybody renew on January 1st,
Yeah.
which was another discussion because that puts some pressure on the
Fire
the
department.
Fire district. And so that I think will continue to be probably something we talk about just from a management standpoint of it.
I can see wanting to end the potential mulligans. I didn't like that term because I felt like it was
I didn't
the
like that.
potential transfer from the old policy to the new policy is more of a, I thought a natural break, but that's again, out of my lane, just my 2 cents.
Yeah, thank you.
We're back to comments by commissioners as we're trying to get out of here.
I just want to say, in terms of what's coming in front of the historical commission, what's coming in front of us, I am just pleasantly amazed at the amount of investment that is happening in our community, in terms of residential, commercial, retail. It's just amazing to me in a wonderful way that people are spending millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars ongoing to invest in our lovely little town. So that's all I have to say.
Yeah, well, for that, I think it's great, and I think we have great people in place to kind of help get that in. Especially, I'm very grateful for Grayson being here, and I think you've been doing a great job. And I do appreciate you in all these meetings, and you're very well prepared, and you know how to guide us through. And I think the city's really lucky to have you, especially at such a instrumental time. So thank you for choosing us and moving your family across the state.
Thank you. None for me tonight. Thank you.
Us?
The city council had its annual day-long strategic planning session yesterday. And the only reason I mentioned that is because one of the priorities that was put on one of our, I forget which one of our 3 sheets it was on, but there has been discussion. And I remember from my time on the planning commission before, we had a lot of discussion about the actual zoning districts and revisiting them, whether we have the right amount, whether it's, and that I think has resonated with council still, at least it's been mentioned again. So I just put that out there that council has that as something that they think the planning commission is going to be working on. So as we begin talking about goals, that's probably something we should be thinking about too. And I know there's been discussion in the past about where we have 24, 25 different.
I think it's
Something like that.
28, but yeah.
City of Holland has 12.
Right.
So that I think is the direction that council thinks we're going to probably be going, is to be looking at those. So
And that's been something we've talked about from the waterfront. We've tried to, it's not an easy task with the way some of the things were built, but we've been working through it.
And I believe The big project we have coming up, of course, is the master plan, and I think the discussion we've had, maybe perhaps before you were on back again, was that the first step would be the master plan, and then we could look at zoning. It's a cart and horse thing. And so, the master plan would be the first step to look at how we go in that direction.
Thank you. That's all I have.
No other comments. I will cheer on the Hoosiers on Monday and look for someone to make a motion to close the meeting.
So moved.
Yeah.
Second. None.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Meeting's closed.
Good job.
You got tickets?
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah,